Time is fleeting for an immortal. In the beginning, it's like you've become a god. Never aging, but never dying. And the people around you, they change so quickly. It starts to fill you with a level of arrogance. But as time moves, you realize what you first thought was a gift of God was in fact a curse. You lose the ability to care for anyone, although it's only been a moment in your eyes. An eternity has passed, and the person you once cared for turns to dust in the ground. I think that's when the boredom started. After a while, you notice that humans all act the same. They're selfish and vile creatures. Then I started to detest them. Perhaps the anger I felt for them was just envy. Knowing they can cherish that limited time on this earth for exactly what it is. Limited. They try so hard to leave an etch on the earth, but all are forgotten to time. That is something we shared. I've been a queen, a peasant, a god. I've lived countless lives. But eventually, they've all been forgotten to time. And yet my face doesn't change. It's just my name they forget. I started to pass the days as they came. I chose to become a noble, married some fat rich man, merely to attain luxuries, and then removed him when he was no longer needed. I intended to just enjoy luxury for a while, perhaps a millennia, or until something more interesting came along. But there you were. Something had happened in your village, some illness. I didn't really bother to listen. Rather, I was infatuated. I didn't even hear the noises coming out of your sweet lips. Perhaps it was because you reminded me of someone I knew when I was still human. But at the same time, you couldn't have been more different. Your eyes were full of fire, a tinge of fear that was delicious. But above all, compassion. When other people had come for aid, they were scared, or at least nervous. But you weren't. You stood proud, asking me to aid your village. I took a liking to you. One I hadn't felt in at least 300 years. And even before then, it was never this strong. It reminded me of when I was human. And I craved more. That's enough. I will send aid to the village. But you, my dear, you've traveled a long time. Stay at my estate. We'll both go to your village to make sure proper aid and care is being given. My dear, it wasn't a request. I promise no harm will come to you at my estate. As a lord, it is a job to make sure all my occupants are comfortable. You won't reject this kindness I offer you, will you? Excellent. I look forward to seeing you at dinner. Nathaniel, please guide our guests to the finest room and make sure they have a need for nothing, or there will be consequences. Later that night, I had dined and wined you. To be honest, I wore one of my finest gowns in the hope of seducing you. But you were more concerned with the plague haunting your village. It made little sense to me. Humans die of diseases all the time. It's natural. And yet, I didn't want you to experience the same fate. For the first time in my long life, I wanted someone to join me in eternity. In this curse. But I'd have to wait till you were willing. After all, if you truly understood the choice, anyone would say no. But humans are often so easily tempted by immortality. When the food eventually came, it was easy to see your excitement. It was probably more food than you had ever seen in your life. Such a simple thing seemed to make you so happy. I was a little jealous of your plate. If only your eyes would look at me in the same way. Dessert hadn't even come out, and you were already overjoyed. And so, as the moon rose and dinner finished, I escorted you to your room. You had refused at first. My dear, it is simply not safe to walk around late at night alone. Come, it is no problem. Rather, I'd like to take you back. Excellent. So, how was dinner? Did you enjoy it? I'm glad. It's been a while since I had wonderful company. My dear, I am not flattering you. I have no need to. I just want to tell the truth. You should know how wonderful your company is. Why, yes. It is rare for a lady to rule. My dear husband passed away. No need for apologizing. After all, he was a disgusting fool. But I'm sure you already know that. After all, commoners always know the state the land is better than their lords. I've been working to restore it as a sort of passion project. But these things take time. I'm just sorry that I wasn't able to help your village before you came to me. Perhaps you'll be comforted to know, if I knew they had such a beautiful flower, I would have put it at the top of my priority. I'd be lying if I said I didn't favor you, my dear. Why do I? I'm not sure yet. But since I first saw you, I've become interested in you. Accept this as my official courting proposal. Or, I guess commoners call it, a proposal to date? Is that correct? Nevertheless, I won't leave you alone from now on. I hope you'll accept, but if not, I'll shower you with anything your heart desires, so you can think of nothing but being mine. I'll save your village, your family, but more than that, you'd have the power to make your own choices and protect those you care for. And all you'd have to do would be stay with me forever. I don't want you to accept or dare refuse me yet. After all, before I can woo you, you have to know the darkest parts of me. Only then will you be able to make a choice without bias. And I have no intention of lying to you about what I am, my dear. It seems we've arrived at your room, my dear. Perfect timing, wouldn't you say? Please, you first. You have a beautiful neck. Your blood calls to me, dear. Perhaps you know what you're doing to me. What do I mean? I'll just have to show you. No. Don't struggle. It only makes it hurt more. Delicious. Your blood is... It's like the finest wine. A devil? Oh no, dear. I'm much worse than that. After all, I'm the only predator of humans. We're called vampires. I almost don't want to stop and just drink you dry. But I'll hold myself back. I can already tell you're getting pale. A wound will close shortly. I'm sorry, my dear. But if I'm to love you, and you to love me, you're gonna have to learn sooner or later that I'm not a simple noble lady. I'm the devil's plaything, the creature that lives in the night and can't die. And one day, if you accept my proposal, you'll become just like me, living by my side for the rest of time. Or at least, for as long as the earth spins, your heart will be mine. Be prepared, my dear. I won't go easy on you. What would be the fun in that? Nathaniel, I told you not to disturb me during... What do you mean they escaped? Back to that village, huh? Guess I scared my little dear away. No. Deer is for good little humans. No, it seems my deer is a little rabbit. No, Nathaniel, don't bother sending anyone after them. I'll let my little rabbit run along. I'll go after them myself. And when I catch them, I won't let them go. After all, they're the only thing that has warmed my cold heart in so many years. It's time for a game of cat and mouse, little rabbit.